the beginning of the story, we are shown an airport. There, we see a pilot named Brad hurriedly walking toward the plane while on a video call with his daughter. His daughter says, "Dad, I saw the news this morning. They said the weather in the area you're flying to is really bad. Many flights have already been canceled because of it. You should cancel your flight and come back home." Brad smiles and replies, "I've flown safely through much worse weather many times before. Don't worry, sweetheart. I'll be back home soon." Hearing this, his daughter feels relieved and ends the call. After that, Brad enters the cockpit and meets his co-pilot. The co-pilot looks a bit nervous because it's his first time flying this route. Suddenly, a flight attendant comes and calls Brad outside. A police officer informs Brad that due to an emergency, he has to take a murderer named Tony on board. Tony is a very powerful and dangerous man who has been charged with murder. He is being transferred to another country to serve a life sentence in prison. The police officer tells Brad, "We're giving you this responsibility because you are a skilled and responsible pilot." Brad agrees and seats Tony in one of the last rows so that the other passengers don't get disturbed. Once all the passengers are seated, Brad confirms with the crew that everyone is on board. The plane then takes off. After reaching cruising altitude, Brad puts the plane on autopilot and starts talking to his co-pilot about his family. He shows his daughter's photo on his phone and says, "I love my daughter more than anything. In this world, we only have each other." Meanwhile, the passengers are enjoying the flight, unaware that something terrible is about to happen soon. Both pilots in the cockpit are relaxed and the plane is flying normally. But suddenly, the weather turns bad and the plane starts shaking lightly. Brad becomes worried because something doesn't feel right. He announces for all passengers to fasten their seatbelts and tries to contact the control tower via radio. However, due to the bad weather, all radio communications fail. Then, a powerful lightning strike hits the plane, causing it to shake violently. Brad steps out of the cockpit to check on the passengers. He feels some relief seeing that everyone is safe. But the lights inside the plane start going out one by one. The plane gets hit by more shocks, and Brad's head slams into the ceiling. He falls down with an injury on his forehead. Seeing the situation worsen, the passengers start panicking. Brad quickly returns to the cockpit and, along with his co-pilot, struggles to regain control of the plane. It's an extremely difficult moment. Because of the bad weather, they can't see anything ahead. Brad says, "We have to bring the plane down. If it takes one more big hit, it could be destroyed." They immediately begin descending rapidly. The passengers are terrified. At that moment, the police officer escorting Tony drops his phone. He unfastens his seatbelt to pick it up, and a flight attendant also unfastens her seatbelt to help him. Because the plane is diving steeply, both of them are thrown upward and smash into the ceiling with full force. They die instantly. Somehow, the two pilots manage to stabilize the plane at a much lower altitude. However, the plane has very little power left. Brad realizes he won't be able to reach any airport. He considers crash landing in the ocean, but then they spot an island in the distance. Brad changes course and decides to make an emergency landing on the island. After several difficulties, he successfully lands the plane on a road on the island. Luckily, all the passengers survive the emergency landing without any injuries. Just then, a short circuit occurs at the back of the plane. Seeing sparks, Brad feels happy because some power is still left in the aircraft. After all the passengers deboard, a flight attendant informs Captain Brad that the police officer escorting Tony and one flight attendant have been killed. Brad becomes very sad upon hearing this. Meanwhile, the airline owner notices that one of his planes has suddenly gone missing. Since he didn't see it land and radio contact had been lost for a long time, he calls a rescue expert named Scarsdale, who specializes in finding people trapped in difficult situations. The owner tells him, "I need all the details about my plane, where it went, and where my crew and passengers are." On the island, the passengers are confused about why they landed there. Brad gathers everyone and explains, "We had to make an emergency landing. There's still some power left in the plane. We'll fix what we can. Until then, stay calm. We'll get out of here very soon." Brad starts working on the plane but realizes the power is too low. They will need outside help. They check the map and discover they are on a private island. The co-pilot says, "This place is very dangerous. The people here don't listen to any government." If they catch us, our lives will be in danger, and even our government won't be able to save us. Brad says they must contact a rescue team somehow. Since the radio is completely damaged due to the lightning strike, he decides to go to the other side of the island to find another way to call for help. He makes a big decision. He uncuffs Tony and says, "Tony will come with me." He instructs the co-pilot to repair the plane's power system while he tries to bring rescue. In the jungle, Tony thanks Brad for trusting him. Meanwhile, we see a terrorist group living on the island. A man runs to their leader and informs him that a plane has made an emergency landing and there are many passengers from different countries on board. The leader pays the man and orders his team to get ready. While walking in the jungle, Tony asks Brad why he freed him. Brad replies that he couldn't risk everyone's life because of him, and they now have to face a dangerous terrorist group together. Tony reveals that he has a military background and served many years in the US military. Suddenly, Tony's voice stops. When Brad turns around, Tony has disappeared. He has escaped. Brad continues alone through the jungle and reaches an abandoned factory. He finds an old telephone, repairs the wires, and manages to make a call to the airline helpline. But due to bad connection, his voice isn't clear and they hang up. Then Brad calls his daughter and tells her to write down the location and all the details and deliver the paper to his office. While talking, a man attacks him from behind. Brad fights and knocks him unconscious. He hides when he hears another person coming, but it turns out to be Tony, who has killed several gang members and taken their weapons. Tony gives Brad a gun for protection. In the lower floor of the factory, they find a camera and passports that reveal the terrorists kidnap people, demand huge ransoms from their families, and kill the hostages even after receiving the money. Brad realizes their passengers are also in great danger. They take a car belonging to the man Brad knocked out and rush back toward the plane. The passengers hear a vehicle approaching and think Brad has brought rescue. But it's actually the terrorists. They fire shots to scare everyone. The gang leader takes the passenger list from a terrified flight attendant and asks about the senior pilot. The co-pilot says he went into the jungle and hasn't returned yet. A woman tries to run but is shot dead. Brad wants to help, but Tony stops him, saying it's not the right time. The terrorists load all passengers into a bus and take them to their base, leaving 2 men behind to loot valuables from the plane. After the gang leaves, Brad gets angry at Tony for stopping him. Tony explains that they were too many and they couldn't have fought them alone. They capture the 2 looters, who reveal the location of the gang's hideout. Meanwhile, Brad's daughter delivers the note to the rescue expert Scarsdale. Using satellites, he locates the plane and learns about the dangerous terrorist group on the island. He contacts a private army captain, who prepares with weapons and a bag full of money and heads to the island. Brad discovers that the co-pilot has successfully repaired the plane's power system. He leaves a message on his uniform for the incoming private team with directions to the hideout, then heads out with Tony to rescue the passengers. They sneak into the terrorist base where the gang is filming the scared passengers to demand ransom. The private rescue team also reaches the plane, finds the bodies of the 2 looters, and follows Brad's message to the hideout. Brad and Tony silently kill several guards. Tony even uses a hammer to take down multiple men. They free the passengers from the locked room and tell them to board the same bus. Tony informs Brad there's only one road out, heavily guarded by armed men. Brad decides to sacrifice himself as a distraction so Tony can lead the passengers to safety. Despite Tony's protests, Brad walks out and tells the gang leader that help is on the way and they should let the passengers go. The gang laughs and starts beating him. Just as they are about to kill Brad, the private rescue team arrives and opens fire. In the shootout, they rescue Brad and take him to the bus. The gang leader becomes furious when he sees his men and his younger brother killed. He swears revenge and prepares to chase them. On the bus, the private team captain reveals they are only a small 5-man team and the official rescue team will take more time. Brad panics and says they don't have time, the terrorists will be coming soon. He suggests going back to the plane since the power is restored and they can fly out immediately. Everyone boards the plane quickly. Brad starts the pre-flight checks while the private team prepares to defend. The terrorists attack and a fierce gunfight begins. The private team's superior weapons help them kill many attackers. Brad tells the team leader he will take off in 5 minutes and asks them to board quickly. He thanks Tony for his help. While protecting himself from bullets, Brad enters the cockpit and begins starting the plane with his co-pilot. Tony runs out of bullets and finds a bag full of money in the team's gear, but he ignores it and takes more ammunition to continue fighting and providing cover fire. One by one, the private soldiers board the plane while Tony covers them. The radio starts working again. The airline owner tells Brad a safe airport nearby. Everyone boards except Tony. He takes the bag of money and runs into the jungle, knowing he will be arrested again if he returns with them. The gang leader, enraged, brings a rocket launcher to destroy the plane in one shot. Tony spots him in time, shoots him dead, and saves everyone. Brad smiles gratefully at Tony's heroic act. Brad successfully takes off with full effort. Tony watches happily as the plane flies away safely, then runs into the jungle with the money bag. Brad flies the plane toward the airport directed by the owner. But suddenly, the engine catches fire again. Brad issues another emergency warning and struggles to bring the plane down on the runway. After great difficulty, he manages a safe landing. Everyone survives. Brad and his co-pilot are overjoyed. The airline owner and his team are also extremely relieved. Brad checks on the passengers, who are all safe. They clap and thank him warmly. Soon, the official rescue team arrives. Brad sends all passengers with them, then sits on the plane stairs, takes a deep breath, and calls his daughter. And with this, the story ends.